the years, there have been a ton of different maps that have struck a chord with many players' hearts and have made their way into that favorite category for a lot of different players. Some also, oppositely, may have been ones that players hated or just completely forgot about. But that said, there's also a ton of maps that players never ended up getting to see within the Call of Duty franchise. So in this one, I'm going to be taking a look at 5 maps that you never saw within the Call of Duty franchise, ranging from COD 4 to later titles and further on within the series. So that said, some of your favorite Call of Duty games may have some surprises still left up their sleeves, and we're gonna hopefully take a look at some of these here today. Now, let's jump right into our first of our 5 here today. In this one, we're gonna be taking a look firstly at one of the beginning cut multiplayer maps from COD 4, Modern Warfare. This being the map Dusk. Now this one, there's not all that much completely known about it in the game files or anything like that, but what is known is that it was a remake of the Call of Duty map Dawnville. Now this one stretches way back for players of the Call of Duty franchise. It was first initially in Call of Duty, then in United Offensive, and then also in Call of Duty 2, and almost made it into COD 4, which would have been cool to see as a little bit of a remake here, reskin, reimagination, however you want to put it, but it never ended up making it into that classification. The only 2 things that we have here physically to take a look at are a loading screen image as well as a mini-map from above image for this map as well, in which you'll see not only it's reskinned once again for that Modern Warfare vibe, a Middle Eastern map set in there, but also you can tell a little bit of the map layout from the mini-map itself. Not necessarily a traditional 3-lane map, though there are points in which there are 3 different lanes, but more so it's a little bit of a map fit for SMGs, ARs, and some points, not all, very some points, some snipers as well. But it would have been interesting to see how this worked out, but once again, as with the rest of these, it never ended up making it into the final game, so therefore, your guess is as good as mine as to how it would feel. And number 2 up on this list is actually one that has legitimate footage available for it. It's probably the only one of the 5 and many more that we'll end up seeing with actual gameplay available to watch and to showcase on the map itself. This being the map Oil Rig from Modern Warfare 2. Now what's interesting about this map is not only is it super small and super close quarters in some aspects, but also it does have a lot of open area to thrive as an AR player too also, if you want to put it that way as well. It's something that is intriguing because unlike other cut maps in this showcase and further showcases in the future, this one is not available on consoles, but is available on PC. Now, presumably from the campaign mission, The Only Easy Day was yesterday, this map is once again set on an oil rig, which makes sense, but what's also cool is that the lower portions of the map are relatively accessible so that you can actually end up taking a look and seeing that's where it's from. But all in all, outside of what we have here already, there's not all that much known about why it was cut because, once again, with full demo gameplay available at a point in time and available on PC, it's something that this plays rather well, so I kind of wish this would have made its way over into Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, and even with other things like a menu loading screen, it's interesting that this was so close to completion and really was there at a time to be maybe even the closest we've seen to be released, but never in fact was. Now next up on the list is the map Vertigo from Modern Warfare 2. Now this is something that really doesn't have, once again, all that much information about it, but does have some interesting characteristics that may end up contribute to why it was in fact cut from Modern Warfare 2 and the multiplayer version there within. Vertigo, as you'll see by the multiplayer loading screen image, is something that does look like it's that of a high-rise, but kind of clobbered about, almost as if you were to take Black Ops 2's Aftermath and then put it on top of a skyscraper. That's kind of the vibe that I get here with this. Now, once again, the contributing factor as to why this more than likely was cut was because of its similarities to High Rise. If you look at some of the imagery, it does look very similar to High Rise, and of course, we all know that High Rise became that fan favorite map that's been remade a couple of times and all that kind of stuff, but definitely a fan favorite, so it's nice that maybe this wasn't added into the loop to take away from that, or perhaps this might have been something that was the High Rise, and this got its theoretical fame from another universe taken away from it. Regardless, that brings us over to the 4th cut map for this episode, that being the map Sea Lab from Black Ops. Now, this, more than likely, based off the campaign mission Redemption in an underwater facility, there's not all that much known to it. There's no gameplay to it. There's only, from what I've found, a mini-map icon that shows the basic flow of the map, how things would work, how the lanes would work out and all that. And one other thing that is super curious as well is that it kind of is the sister map to another canceled map called Underwater, which shares almost the exact same properties and things alike, being that it's once again from the map Redemption, it was underwater, all that kind of stuff. But the overall maps, that being Sea Lab and Underwater, I guess we can encompass both of these, were supposed to be an underwater facility, but were more than likely canceled simply because they were underwater. This was something that would take all your score streaks that were aerial based, such as Rolling Thunders, care packages, helicopters, all that kind of stuff. It would be rendered useless and have no ability or no way to end up being able to be called in for those. So how you'd end up taking some of the core mechanics of the gameplay and the kill streaks there within, that's something that really you couldn't do, so therefore these maps ended up getting cut and shunned from the map pool, no pun intended, for Black Ops at the time. Now the final map we'll be talking about here in this episode of 5 cut maps from Call of Duty is the map called Landing from Black Ops. Now this seems to be on an airstrip, and it makes a lot of sense that it does, whether or not it has something that would make for an incredibly interesting gameplay experience of passing planes on the airfield. That would be something that would be absolutely fantastic, but probably never would happen. But it seems to be based off the mission Operation 40 from the campaign and is very similar to another map in Black Ops, that being the map Launch, in which it's very symmetrical, has a very open middle of the map and a lot of different areas and buildings to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge your way through different gunfights, and if you need cover, it's there for you as well. But there's only one thing that's available here with this map, and that is the mini-map with a little bit of an overview here with this, with different points of interest marked on this map. And once again, probably as to the reasoning for why this was cut was once again because it is so similar to the map Launch from Black Ops that's already in there. So it really wouldn't make sense to have two of almost the identical same map in the base game at launch with just say a reskin of that same map. Players would definitely pick up on that, and thus I think that was probably the catalyst for why this never made it out. But it is interesting because that mission Operation 40 is an intriguing one. That entire sequence of the plane is just something else entirely, and so therefore it would have been cool to see how this would have translated into a multiplayer map. But that said, that's gonna wrap up this episode of 5 cut maps within Call of Duty. And with that said, I'd love to get your thoughts down there in the comment section down below of any of these. Which would you guys like to see the most come to Call of Duty, or would you guys have liked to play it on any of these in particular, or maybe not? Maybe you guys hated all of them. Feel free to let me know down there in the comment section down below. Be on the lookout for another episode that we have here whilst I'm away. I'm going to be having another one of these and a couple other series going live up on the channel, so hopefully you guys enjoy, and if you guys did, make sure you drop a like down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with everything we have here regarding Call of Duty, that including Black Ops 2, both multiplayer and Zombies of Zombies Chronicles, Call of Duty World War 2, both multiplayer and zombies there as well, Modern Warfare Mastered, Infinite Warfare, all that good stuff. We got you covered here up on the channel. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that is the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. But all that said and out of the way, hopefully you guys had a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.